So you're looking at my OpenShift login screen, and I'm going to log into my cluster. And as soon as I log in, I'm in this topology view that is showing a slightly different view of what we just saw on the slide deck. It's the same set of services, and except in the slide we had a slightly different representation. Here they are actually represented as deployments. In this cluster, I've got this demo application, the storefront that we just referred to as, which is obviously developed with multiple languages. And as we just saw there, and in addition to that, I have a couple more projects here. One with the Kong Ingress. The other one is the cert-manager itself. So these are the three different projects that I have already deployed in the OpenShift cluster. What I'm going to do now as the first step is to create an ingress utilizing Kong and to make sure that we can access this application from outside. That's the idea. So I'm going to switch to my terminal here. Then I'm going to run a command quickly from my makefile. So this will create an ingress. There is no security. There is nothing built into that. All I'm doing is basically creating an ingress that will help me map to the domain. So I'm going to go. I can also describe it. I can say get ingress -n demo -storefront, and you will see that this is a that is associated with the Kong proxy. Just accessing this, I will be able to access the application. So this is the application that I just talked about. As you see here, lots of different things that you can shop around, look. I can drill into this one, add to the cart. Well, we talked about different services. This is the checkout service. There is the cart service. I can look at the product service, currency service, various different things that we just talked about. All of that is here. In addition to that, the recommendation service and also ad services, all of them obviously here. So I can go and place order, check out, things like that. Just as a simple app that's demonstrating the value that that brings in through the adoption of cloud native development. So the next step is essentially to secure this. As you see here, this is an endpoint that's not secure. What we want to do is to make sure that this endpoint utilizes a certificate that is issued by a trusted CA. And then sort of whenever somebody goes in, they have the ability to sort of secure it. So I have a different target to modify the same ingress, except before it does that, it's going to create a few more resources. And some of the resources that will create is obviously a secret, an issuer, and obviously the certificate resource itself. I'm going to quickly switch to my browser here and go to the Venafi platform and then refresh this folder where I should see a certificate. And this is a certificate that was just issued by cert-manager using Venafi as the issuer. And a couple of other things that we did was to bind and use it within an ingress. So when I go back to my OpenShift cluster here and go back to the topology screen, and in this topology, you will see that there is an additional information here that talks about open the URL. I can simply click on this, and this will open up the same URL, obviously, with the padlock here, which tells that this is a certificate. This is a secure site with a certificate issued, in this case from DigiCert, that expires on June 28th. Fairly simple to get started, fairly simple to enable developers using OpenShift to request certificates and ensure that they have the ability to manage everything from a lifecycle perspective. A few more things that you can look at. There is the secrets that you can look at. There is the one TLS secret that was created. And this has the information, the CS cert, you can say reveal values. You can look at all of this information within the OpenShift. So as a next step to take it even further, all of these services that are there deployed, we want to make sure that they are also secured via MTLS. So in this extension of the demo, what I'm doing is really installing the cert-manager Istio CSR followed by Istio itself, which essentially utilizes cert-manager as a way to secure all of the services within the cluster, within the service mesh, and also to ensure that there is emptiness between them. So going back to our cluster again, this time when I look at the topology, you see it's slightly different. There is some additional information here with the cert-manager CSR driver that is installed. Now that we have installed Istio, let's switch back to the OpenShift cluster. And you see that, the topology still shows similar to what we saw before, but I'm going to switch to the Istio system, which has the Istioid and also a few other things that were installed. But the important thing is, as soon as the Istioid was installed, and we can look at, some of the secrets here, like for example, if I filter it on TLS, it's showing me the Istio CA and the Istio TLS. This is the issuing CA, which is going to be used for issuing certificates for the workloads within the service mesh. What I'm going to do now is go to the project and look at the view details of the Istio system. And as you see here, there are several certificates that were issued for the various different workloads within the system. So if I look at this is a certificate request that was issued. It is ready, fetched from the issuer successfully. And this was from the Venafi. As you realize here, I can go back to the Venafi platform, and then the certificates and automation, Kubernetes, and I think it's Istio folder. This was the CA that is being used for issuing the certificates. So you see the issuing CA here, and with the subject type equals CA, and all of the certificates that were issued for the service mesh was issued using this CA certificate. And within your OpenShift cluster, so you have the ability to sort of look at each one of them, all of the certificate request resource that was issued for this application that we have deployed and seeing the storefront application.